Hi guys, I am Dadwal and today we'll talk about research proposal and dissertation, a brief guide. I'm estimating around 20-25 minutes for this brief session. I hope it will be helpful for you to write a good research proposal and then finally a good dissertation. What I want to cover today is understand structure of research dissertation, understand the essentials of literature review, and understand essentials of research methodology. What are four possible examples of an undergrad research project? Could be a research paper, could be a published article, sometimes it can be film, sometimes it can be a document, or it can be research report. But look at a journal report of a research dissertation. Looks like there is a title followed by introduction to research project, introduction, and then literature review, research methodology, data analysis and finding, discussions on the findings and the results, recommendations and conclusions, and then scope for further research, bibliography and references, appendices which can include reflection, professional statements, etc., data, file, logs of that meeting attended, Gantt charts, ethical form, questionnaire, consents, permission, etc. in the appendix. First thing is introduction to the topic selection. I know many students find it hard to select a topic, so remember some basic things. So think that topic should be interest to you as well as to the people who are in that field of study. And make sure topic has a focused scope rather than broad. So instead of saying marketing, you focus on say one area of marketing, say product, and within the product you may be focusing on a particular attributes of the product. So rather than having a very broad, you should have narrow focused area of research. Make sure when you're choosing a topic, you should have some idea of access to the data information regarding the topic. Also make sure that topic is achievable within the given time frame of your project, and then this topic should be adding value to stakeholders and your own knowledge and knowledge area of the subject. So if it's a business program, of course it's required that your topic should be business related pathway. If you are tourism, it's good to have a tourism related topic. If it's like event management or another area, make sure your topic is suitable to the pathway, and topic should be relevant to the path of theory. Make sure when you are making a choice of topic, you don't broadly make a choice of topic. You must read a few research papers similar to your own research topic before you make a final choice, because reading research papers means you will get a better idea about how to refine title, objectives, and most important, how to write introduction, literature review, and the research methodology and actual analysis, because we'll have somebody to benchmark and see as a previous research paper. Most of research paper are double blind reviewed, so they are okay, they have good standards. It's good to follow research papers, and then you differentiate your research by either data sources, assess time, and theory, etc. The difference between research questions, aim, and objectives. Research questions are like questions asking what is, why, when, where, how. Research aims are quite broad, which is kind of your title. Research objective must be narrow and specific and measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So make sure your objective is very fine-tuned and smart or focused. Students they won't try to do so many things, so what actually happens, they put very broad objectives. Research is more of going deeper rather than spreading it. Three possible levels of objectives you can think about. The first objective could be identifying, classifying, outlining, discussing theoretical background or theoretical concepts or the phenomena as it is. Second level objective could be about so think of starting word like explore, critically evaluate, assess, examine, analyze, determine. And then third level is to formulate a solution or produce or a model or develop a model, recommend something, propose some theoretical or conceptual model and test it, and so on. So make sure your objectives have these keywords or similar keywords. It's always safe that first objective is about developing a theoretical conceptual model or assertions or hypothesis, followed by testing, followed by recommendations. Okay. Most of people, when they're choosing a research topic, they don't write an academic rationale. You have to justify why this research topic is important. You have to think about the stakeholders, so how this is important to me, which is you, researcher, and of course academic field, theoretical contribution, something unique, empirical, which is business or companies which are looking for empirical contribution, and what is your unique contribution. Please remember, this rationale should be based on reading literature review and finding gaps in existing knowledge and saying that okay, your research is trying to fulfill a particular gap in research because of temporal time, space, distance, or any other different than previous research, or maybe a new theoretical concept itself. The second chapter of literature is the literature review. You do that in proposal as well as in your dissertation. Proposal is a brief, dissertation is at length. So what is literature review? A critical review of relevant theories. So always see that what is the logic behind the topic you are studying. So if it's a marketing, it will be marketing theory, consumer behavior, theory of plant behavior, theory of reason actions, technology adaptation, technology adaptation model, innovation diffusion, theory of innovation diffusion, and so on. Motivation, theory of motivations like Maslow, Herzberg, and so make sure that you're starting with the theoretical concepts or theories before you start writing your literature review, and then summarizing. What are the central issues of debate as per your title and objectives? What concepts, terms, variables are important, and have you covered them? Have you defined them? Have you defined them? Who are the main authors or writers who do have published these things? What have they found in past, and what appears to be known, and what will be your contribution? What is your area of research here, and maybe towards the end you have a conceptual model with hypothesis or set of assertions for verifying or testing. Literature review should critically discuss what? The main concepts. Most of students forget that they have to define the terms which they have used in the title and objectives. So the main concepts, terms, variables, definitions, and their measurements must be very clearly discussed. Not only conceptual definition but operational definitions, which means how, for example, motivation is what definition of motivation is a conceptual definition defining what is motivation, and how the motivation can be measured in the minds of the people by asking question is a operational definition. So make sure you have theoretical as well as operational definitions. So if motivation affects performance, there will be a relationship between the concepts and variable. If advertisement affects sales, then there will be a relationship between those concepts, and so on. So make sure you're discussing relationship between the concepts and variables. The main theories, most important, main theories related to your research theme, concepts and definitions and models must be discussed and critically evaluated. Authors must be compared and contrasted. Basically you are theoretically answering your research objectives. So make sure almost all research questions first should be theoretically answered in literature review. Check your objectives and read your literature review. Have you answered those questions theoretically or not? If not, your literature review is incomplete perhaps. What research methods were used? You have to mention that previous research method, because this is guidance for you to establish your methodology. Be precise with the purpose of the literature review is basically to depends on the approach you're saying. So make sure you are doing deduction and induction. You will be using literature to help you identify theories and ideas that you will be test using data collected, sometime inductive, because after collecting data is explored, you start developing theories and subsequently relating back to the theory and literature. How to critically discuss literature review? So make sure you are applying literature review tunnel or funnel. I'll be showing you now in the next slide. Must define those concepts and discuss all concepts, their definition, their meaning, their variables, their indicators, and their themes. When you're doing literature review, don't forget analysis, synthesis, and evaluation, or 4 C's: compare, contrast, connect, and conclude different authors. Go on doing this way: compare, contrast, connect, conclude. Compare means authors who have draw similar conclusions. Linking words such as similarly, in addition, also, again will be comparison, and similarly. In other words, contrast will be like disagreement, authors are disagreeing, however, on the other hand, conversely, but, nevertheless, etc. In the literature review, try to find gaps in the research or the things which have not been explained, which can be your area of research. And also think of what methods of measurements and methodologies were used in the past. Conclude your literature review, must conclude your literature review with a final conceptual model, a diagram, and set of hypotheses and assertions, etc. This is how you do literature review. So, for example, your topic is impact of social media marketing on brand loyalty, and the first you have to design literature map or literature review funnel. So, for example, first page or few pages, first few pages more about introduction to the field, broader focus. So look at the topic, it's more about if you highlight impact, social media marketing, brand loyalty, so the broader concepts will be those definitions and theories behind that. So marketing, consumer behavior, their theories, narrow down to social media and narrow down to brand loyalty. Social media, advertising, branding, theories are the first thing you have to cover in first few pages, followed by focus on certain aspects in the field of interest, social media, brand loyalty. So you are choosing a particular social media, for example Facebook as a social media and the tool of advertising and promoting, and then many theories of brand loyalty, but maybe focusing on 1 and 2 theories of brand loyalty and the models of brand loyalty. And then you go to the next stage, which is the final of your chapter, end with a gap analysis and conceptual model, which means you are finalizing your theoretical conceptual model, which is about impact of Facebook advertising on brand loyalty, and you start developing hypotheses and assertions. Okay, let's take another example. So this is your final model looks like, example of conceptual model. So you look at here, somebody has developed this final model after comparison, contrast, connect, and composition, and finally arrived at this conceptual model. So he has thought that there are 5 drivers of brand loyalty through social media. Ad, it provides relevant content can be updated, but content is popular, content is applicable to the different programs, and so on. So different authors will bring different kind of conceptual model of brand loyalty and social media. Take another example here. What drives m-commerce or mobile commerce? Let's say the map. So introduce the broad topic, read the title, drivers, mobile commerce. So the theories behind that. If it's a consumer behavior, of course marketing, consumer behavior related theories. E-commerce may have better ideas. M-commerce, e-commerce theories will be in the beginning. You focus on certain aspects of the field, so maybe drivers from e-commerce and drivers of m-commerce, because e-commerce may be previously much research, m-commerce may not be, so you may get more in e-commerce, followed by end of gap analysis, and then you summarize things. And the final go 6 main drivers of m-commerce in particular situation, and then developing hypothesis and assertion. So your conceptual model may look like this. So you are final. So there are 6 drivers which are affecting future of e-commerce, m-commerce, and frequency of using m-commerce, mobile use experience, affinity, demographic factors, non-store shopping experiences factors, attitude towards m-commerce, and so on may jointly affect your m-commerce experience. Thank you. Next session we cover research methodology.